What is up, OWO Maniacs, and welcome back to OWO UK. And this is my review of the Rob Zombie Halloween from 2007. So after this one, there's just one more to go, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And the franchise is finished, and we're ready for the new one coming out this year. So without further ado, I shall get on, and it will be done as usual. I'll give you like a little bit of sort of backstory, quickly go through the plot. I apologise if I miss anything out, and then sort of give you my thoughts, opinions, and whatever it is at the end of it. So, like I said, this was released in 2007. It was written, directed, and produced by Rob Zombie, and the film is a sort of remake or reimagining of the 1978 classic, and it was the first of the rebooted film series, and technically the 9th installment of the franchise. So Tyler Mane plays the adult Michael Myers. Malcolm McDowell takes up the role of Dr. Sam Loomis, and Scout Taylor Compton plays Laurie Strode, and I can't pronounce it. Dave Fersh, I pronounced it wrong probably, and I do apologise. He plays the 10-year-old Michael. So Rob Zombie's sort of reimagining follows the sort of premise of the original. It kind of follows the same sort of thing, with Myers stalking Laurie and her friends and Halloween and everything. But sort of Zombies film, this one goes back a bit more and shows you a bit more than Michael just being a 10-year-old and stabbing his sister. It goes deeper into his psyche and sort of tries to sort of give you an idea of what drove him to kill people, whereas in the original he didn't have a reason, he just did it. So apparently John Carpenter gave Rob Zombie a bit of advice, and it would just make this film your own. So Zombie sort of chose to develop it as a prequel and a remake, which allowed for more original content rather than just simply refilming the same stuff and giving it a modern twist and, you know, modern day time sort of thing. I'm saying modern day, it's like 11-year-old now, but you know what I mean. So despite getting, you know, reasonably, well, mostly should I say, like negative reviews, the film grossed $80,208,039 and cost $15 to make, so it made a profit, and it was the highest grossing film in the Halloween franchise. And like I said, Zombie followed it up with a sequel, Halloween 2, 2 years later. So I'll sort of roughly go through the plot. I've kind of made notes if you see me glancing to the side. That's what I'm doing. I'm sort of reading the notes, and occasionally other things might come back to me because my memory is terrible. So obviously it's Halloween in Haddonfield, Illinois, and already having shown signs of being a bit of a psycho, 10-year-old Michael murders a school bully. Basically his kids following him home, and him and his friend have been giving Michael some crap at school, and Michael loses his shit and just beats him to death with a big branch of a tree, and ends up killing his older sister Judith, like in the first one. He kills her boyfriend Steve, which didn't happen in the first one, and then kills his mum's boyfriend, who is an absolute dick. And quite frankly, never have I seen a character since Mike in Halloween 5 have I wanted to see somebody get their comeuppance so much, because this guy is such a dick to Michael and his older sister. So the only person that Michael doesn't kill is his little baby sister, who's called Angel Myers. He doesn't kill her because she's his baby sister, and you know he loves her. So after one of the longest trials in the state's history, Michael is found guilty of first-degree murder and sent to Smith's Grove Sanitarium, same as in the original, and is put under the care of the child psychologist Dr. Samuel Loomis, who was amazingly played in the originals by Donald Pleasance. I nearly forgot his name then. So Michael initially sort of cooperates with Loomis, claims he can't remember anything about the killings. He has no memory of it all. His mum, Deborah, who was played by Sherry Moon Zombie, who is obviously Rob Zombie's wife, comes to visit him regular. And then over the following year, he sort of develops this obsession with making papier-mâché masks, and sort of starts withdrawing from everybody, and even his mum. So Michael ends up killing a nurse as his mum, Deborah, is leaving from one of her visits. She's unable to handle the situation and she commits suicide. So for the next 15 years, Michael's sat in this sanitarium making masks, and he just doesn't speak to anyone. Loomis has been treating him over the years, and he decides to move on and think, you know what, it's going nowhere, case closed sort of thing. A bit later on, the two janitors are there, and one of them is played by Danny Trejo, and I was sort of like a bit surprised to see him in this. And he's kind of, when he's a kid, he's pretty cool with Michael, and then it shows you a bit later on this absolute, pardon my French, knobhead is with Danny Trejo, and he starts giving Michael crap. So Michael kills him, and I was a bit sad he killed Danny Trejo's character, because like I said, as a kid he always got on with him, but kills him and ends up escaping the sanitarium. Kills a truck driver for his clothes and makes his way back to Haddonfield. Arrives at his house, which is now abandoned, on Halloween. Goes upstairs and walks into what was his old bedroom, lifts up floorboards and gets the massive trademark kitchen knife and the Halloween mask, which he'd stored under the floorboards the night he killed his sister. Meanwhile, Laurie and her friends Annie and Linda, who have the same names as the original, are getting ready for Halloween. It's pretty much the same sort of thing. Throughout the day, Laurie sees Michael watching her from a distance, gets a bit, what's going on. Her friends, like in the original, sort of dismiss it, there's no to it. So late that night, Laurie goes to babysit Tommy Doyle, and Linda meets up with her boyfriend Bob at Michael's abandoned home. Michael appears and murders him, and then heads over to the Strode home, where he kills Laurie's parents, Mason and Cynthia. Dr. Loomis gets told about Michael's escape, and he goes over to Haddonfield looking for Michael. Manages to buy a gun and attempts to warn Sheriff Lee Brackett that Michael has returned to Haddonfield. So Loomis and Brackett head over to the Strode home, with Brackett explaining on the way that Laurie is really Michael's baby sister, having been adopted by the Strodes following the mum's suicide. In the meantime, Annie convinces Laurie to babysit Lindsay so that she can meet with her boyfriend Paul. So she does, I love the original. Annie and Paul return to the Wallace home and, decide that, nobody's here, so let's just have sex in somebody else's house. It's a slasher, it's going to have some sort of sex scene. So afterwards, Michael kills Paul, goes upstairs and attacks Annie. Laurie is bringing Lindsay home and finds Annie on the floor, badly hurt but still alive, and calls the police. Michael attacks Laurie and chases her back to the Doyle home. Loomis and Brackett hear the 911 call over the radio and head straight towards the Wallace house. Michael kidnaps Laurie and takes her back to their old house. He tries to show Laurie that she is his sister, presenting a picture of them with a mum. Laurie don't understand because obviously Michael doesn't talk. So she stabs Michael and then escapes the house. Michael chases her, but Loomis arrives and shoots him. So he recovers, does Michael, and recaptures Laurie before she can leave and heads back to the house. Loomis again intervenes, but Michael knocks him out. Laurie takes Loomis's gun and runs upstairs. Michael corners her on a balcony and charges at her head on, and both of them go flying over the railing. Laurie finds herself on top of Michael, who's unconscious. She aims Loomis's gun at his face, and then fires just as Michael wakes up and grabs her arm. The film ends with her screaming and then fades into like a really slow version of Mr. Sandman, you know, the song. And that's it for the end of Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now, I'm probably going to annoy, upset, piss off, infuriate, whatever you want to call it, a lot of purists and hardcore fans by saying this, but I really enjoyed it. I thought Rob Zombie did a really good version. It stayed very faithful to the original. The cast were really good. McDowell was really good as Loomis. Nowhere near Donald Pleasance, but he was bloody good. Tyler Mane was amazing. Michael, he just had that sort of physical, intimidating presence, and he was, you know, just everything. And Scout Taylor Compton just made an amazing update as Laurie. For me, I think this film got pretty much everything right. The bit where Michael kills Laurie's stepdad, genuinely made me jump. And I was impressed with everything. The backstory about Michael added a new dimension. Some people thought it wasn't needed, it went too much into it. At first, I did like it, but then I sort of realised, yeah, it does go too much into, oh, why is Michael like this? Well, it's because of his background, it's because of an abusive relationship with his stepdad, blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. But it's like, no, there's millions of people have been through that, and they've not resorted to Michael Myers, you know, limits of murder. So, but yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to watching the second one. A lot of people rate the Rob Zombie sequel over this one, over his reboot, remake, reimagining, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the second one. So yeah, bring it on. I definitely recommend you watch this film if you haven't already. Even if you're a hardcore fanatic of the originals and refuse to watch, you know, a reboot or anything. Like I said, a lot of people dumped on this film, but I really enjoyed it. I borrowed it off a friend, but I will definitely be getting a copy of this at some point. And hopefully, you know, if the second one's as good, I'll be getting a copy of that as well. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my review of the Halloween 2007 Rob Zombie reboot, remake, reimagining Rob Zombie version. If you guys have seen it, let me know what you thought in the comments. As always, please feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications of new videos, which will be coming pretty regular now. Fingers crossed. So yeah, that'll do it for this video, guys. I shall see you for the review of Halloween 2 from 2009, and then that is it done. Wait until the new one comes out. So for now, guys, as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Go check out Josh on the OWO main channel, the OWO game channel, the OWO review channel, and don't forget to check out Mr. Bones, who is just hilarious, and I'm looking forward to seeing their review of this and seeing how many rants Mr. Bones goes on, because I think he's just hilarious when he's ranting, but that's a different story. So yeah, that'll do it, guys. As always, thank you for taking the time, and I will see you very soon with Halloween 2.